Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the RC Barn. I do have been keeping this kind of under wraps for the few of you that are watching. I do appreciate it. But I'm going to start a new build since I'm waiting for parts for the Super Sportster 90/20 conversion. Under here we got what I've started to do on a wing. So I'm going to start scratch building a couple wings here. Yep, two. It's going to be a biplane. Show you what I got going on here. This is cool. Let's see. Oh boy, what do we got here? Holy smokes. Never thought in a million years that I would own a motor like that. Yep, that's a Sato 300 twin 4-stroke. Not too sure about the history of it. Do need some parts for it to make it a runner. The goal is to have this plane flying, and some of you scale buffs will know that this is a Laird Super Soulution. It's a 1930s Cleveland Air Racer plane. Some of my favorite genre of planes to build and manufacture. Unfortunately, don't have too many of them, but because I like to build them big, they're kind of expensive. But anyways, I was lucky enough to obtain this from a club member at my field that had passed away. He had started the construction on the fuse. Kim, he passed away last year, so I was lucky enough to be able to purchase this from them and continue with the build. He's got the fuselage built, as you can tell. Tail feathers are all built. He did cut a lot of the ribs, but he never got to the point where he could build the wing here. So where I'm gonna pick off where he left off. I want to get some of the major construction done. This is the top wing. Got the plans here for the bottom wing here. This is as you'll probably see in the description, this is a Jim Penapole plans. Not the most scale type, but this quarter scale. See if you can see that. There you go. So anyways, I've had to manufacture some ribs here. The plywood ribs in the center there. This is the top wing. It's built in one piece. I had the spar here, which is kind of an unusual size. 1 inch tall, 1/4 inch wide for the top wing. I don't think the bottom one's 1/4 by 3/4 inch. It's spruce, says here, no splices or joints. So I went to my local lumber yard, and they were nice enough to plane me down a piece of spruce in one piece for that. Here's the spar for the top wing. You can see they did a very nice job. Don't forget, when you're building airplanes, I mean, your local lumber yard, not your Lowe's, your Home Depots or whatever, your local lumber yards, they usually have some kind of wood shop going on, where you don't have to buy all the expensive equipment. They'll do stuff for you for either free like mine does or low cost. So anyways, I'm going to throw you on time lapse, hoping by the end of the day today to have a wing that can be pulled from the table. This is why it's important that you have a flat table also, because you don't want to induce any warps in this. We'll get this pinned down to this helmet table today. I've already dry fitted a lot of these ribs. Make sure they're fitting real nice and snug. I had to cut all the slots in these ribs that were already cut for me, and then did that between the bandsaw and then some sandpaper and some other stuff to get down in there to tree these ribs up and make sure they're 100% accurate. Anyways, I'll throw you guys on time lapse, and you can maybe watch me build this wing. Alright, I think I'm just about done here for the night. I'll just kind of show you where I'm at. I did get the leading edge glued. The trailing edge is glued on. Well, not super happy. You probably saw me messing around with this a little bit, trying to get every rib to line up. A couple of them were kind of on the long side, so I trimmed them up, which you saw me doing with the saw in there. Also, the plans in here call for the top of the spar to get filled in with 1/4-inch square balsa on top. So I did all that. It's kind of like, this plane is not going to get any cat strips. It does not get sheeted. Yeah, there's a lot of ribs in here. I mean, like 1-inch spacing, 1.5 inch, something like that. Let's see, I'm curious. 1.5 inch rib spacing. Most planes are 2 or 3 inches wide. Probably because it's the strength of it. It needs it for that big heavy motor with as small as this plane is going to be. Because for that 300, this thing's going to have probably pretty good performance. I also had a hard time trying to figure out how I was going to lay my spar down and keep it flat and straight. So I got one of my handy 90-degree blocks out like these. I got 6 of these. And clamped it down to the workbench. You probably saw part of that. That helped tremendously when I first started, and then I kind of figured out that I could do this with the T-pins later on. It's been a while since I built anything from plans up, so it took about a week of head scratching and fiddling and trying to get things to fit right. The ribs weren't super accurate, but the plans aren't super accurate to work with either, so there's a lot of head scratching going on. There's still some things that I got to do to these ribs before it gets totally done. Like, I don't know if you can see that there. Let's see that plate? It says it's got to be flush mounted. That's for the cabanes, and so I'm going to have to get it come in here and cut that out. Over here it says it's 3/8 by half spruce, flush on bottom. So, like I said, this is the top wing, so this will be sitting on top of the fuse. The cabanes will be underneath. No ailerons in the top wing, just in the bottom. It also says I gotta cut this, make this flush. This is where the wing bolts will be at. And then it says sheet 1/64 over this bay. So I think I'll go top front to back, because see, all these ribs are cut out for 3/32 sheeting to fit flush with the top. So I'll probably wet them down and get that on here soon. So anyways, there's that. Yep, I don't know if you can see the blood on the ribs or not, but I knew I was going to do it, so I poked myself in the finger with the pin as I was putting the thing in. It didn't really hurt a little bit, but I recovered quite quickly. Put a little bit of CA on it to stop the bloodshed, if you will. Next step on this wing is going to be figuring out how to contour and make these wingtips. I got to make a rib for here that's obviously shorter than the rest. I'm going to have to squeeze that in together. And then the leading edge has got to get, circled off, so I'll get that figured out. You can see here, it's a 1/4 inch hard in the middle, right there. So they're building these wingtips out. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some reading on what little directions are here to see how I want to go about making wingtips. Maybe I'll just make them out of plywood and then make the radius out of plywood like normal, and then contour it with balsa sticks and then sand to shape. Probably be about the best way to do that. Anyhow, there's the top wing construction. I will probably continue on here maybe this evening. I'm not sure yet. And so we'll thanks for watching if I don't make another video, and please like, comment, subscribe. Any Any questions or comments you got on the build so far? Really looking forward to this one. Got a long ways to go, but hopefully this summer we'll be putting the maiden flight on this airplane. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Hope you have a good weekend.